So his question is, why did Adi Shankaracharya rated Sri Vidya as one of the topmost vidyas or sadhanas? Is there a specific reason behind it? No, he just did it unreasonably. I think it's not a bad question at all. As I said first, it's important to demystify the word Vidya. Over a period of time, we have come to understand or realize or think or assume that Vidya means an elaborate system of worship. But that's not right. That's sort of the implied meaning. We believe, okay, that's what it is, but that's not what it is, because essentially, in its purest form, the word Vidya means mantra of a female goddess or deity. We have mantras for everybody, but those mantras that are used for invoking the feminine energy are known as Vidya. So when we talk about Sri Vidya, first of all, it's important to understand it almost exclusively pertains to the worship of Mother Goddess in the form of Goddess Tripura Sundari, or Shri, also known as Meenakshi or Lalitambika. Form of Adya Shakti, primal energy, Mother Goddess. Somewhere perhaps in one of my books, I might have written this story. Lord Parshurama, he was considered an incarnation of Vishnu. After he slayed his enemies and he stopped at that destruction at the bidding of all the other people, including his gurus and devas, that you got to stop now, enough. He couldn't experience peace and that serenity in his mind anymore, in his heart anymore. He was forever restless. And he didn't know what to do. I think all of us must have experienced it at some point in time when we are doing something and we are at a stage where we're going through a crisis or something and we don't really know what to do. We seem to have all the resources, but not the answer, not the solution. So Lord Dattatreya meets him. I forget now who actually sends Parshurama to Lord Dattatreya. But anyway, at somebody's insistence or guidance, he says, okay, I'm going to go to Dattatreya, the foremost Upasaka. And when he goes there, what he notices is that there are two women sitting by his either side. So at first he's taken aback. He's thinking, have I knocked at the right address? Maybe I'm in the wrong home. Maybe I should be going somewhere else. Is it a namesake somewhere? But very soon the conversation ensues and he's blown away by the wisdom of Dattatreya. And Dattatreya says, look, I know you judged me immediately, and that's precisely why I made this setup. He said, that's how I filter people out. What you need to do, he said, is you've got to realize Mother Goddess. You have not yet experienced the joy, the pristine, the pure love of a mother, of divine mother. And like we said, even in psychoanalysis, it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt, when as a child you don't get your mother's love, your life is pretty much ruined. So he said, you have not experienced mother's love, and that's why you are feeling this restlessness, not necessarily just because you did all that you did. Connection with the mother is the first connection a human being ever has. So you must worship her. In 10 Mahavidyas, the 10 great Vidyas, right? Starting from Kali to Kamalatmika. They all address a certain aspect of human existence. Kali might address fear, and Kamalatmika in the end might address just great material opulence. But Shri, she's called Shri Maha Tripura Sundari. Tripura is the 3 states of consciousness that we have. We're either sleeping, or we are awake, or we are dreaming, or the 4th state beyond, Turiya. Or the 3 modes of material nature, goodness, passion, existence, or goodness, passion, and ignorance. So to go beyond that, he said you must invoke that beautiful divine energy in yourself. You must invoke the love of Mother. And you will become very tender. You will experience your vulnerable side. You will experience your creative side. You will realize your beautiful side. You will see your soft side. And he gives him Sri Vidya, as it says in Tripura Rahasya. And it's in 2 stages. Realization outside, and then Advaita, non-dual realization inside, where your whole body is a Sri Chakra. And that's where you worship the Mother. So when Shankaracharya, who was a scholar par excellence, absolutely exceptional, very high IQ, very, very brilliant, would read something once and remember, absolute prodigy. So when he wrote all that he wrote, he spoke all that he spoke, and he went through the length and breadth of the country at such a tender age, and who really shook the social norms at the time and drew people back to Sanatana Dharma at that time, who completely at one stage refuted any kind of duality in worship, who was considered the epitome of Vedanta, of Advaita non-duality. But he too came to a moment when he realized, do I feel complete? Can I safely say I understand all there is to be understood? Can I really say that I now get it? Why am I feeling this way? And because he traveled a lot throughout India, he obviously met amazing sages, upasakas and sadhaks and so on. Somewhere on his journey, he must have discovered the joy of bhakti, the joy of devotional service, the joy of just merely invoking the glory of universal consciousness with pure devotion and certain resonance with the universal energy in terms of mantras. And he must have realized, he probably realized that, I am not after getting over any fear, and I'm not after the material riches. I am just after wholeness. I am just after some sort of that completion one feels. It's just like the extraordinary feeling you have when you're very hungry, starving, when you're famished, and suddenly you get this amazing meal, super healthy, that sits so well with you, and you eat and you say, now I could actually die and I won't complain. That I'm feeling so fulfilled. Just the feeling immediately after a good meal. And that is the experience one has in bhakti, in devotion. So when his devotional side opened up like a lotus, the rest is history. Not only he composed Saundarya Lahari, he wrote one hymn after another, one stuti after another, one ode after another, one eulogy after another, and he composed monumental works of extraordinary devotion, and he publicly declared, yes, Sri Vidya is the topmost form of worship, acknowledged and obviously in the main Pitams, they do it till date. The one who walked the path of complete Advaita, non-duality, realized that my life doesn't feel complete this way. Where is my human side? If I cannot be in touch with my human side, I cannot be in touch with my divine side either. And it is the journey of sadhana, of devotion, is not necessarily that we always have to be strong and stick with whatever we are doing. It is to be open to possibilities. It is to be able to experiment and see what fits. That's my answer, if that helped at all.